Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
Thanks for joining us for the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, and in a moment we'll be joined by Assistant City Manager John Fitzpatrick. In the first portion of today's show, we'll have some municipal news updates to share, including items from city departments and some things happening in Oshkosh. Then we'll visit the Oshkosh Fire Department to recognize Fire Prevention Week. In the second half of the program, we'll highlight some items from the upcoming Tuesday, October 14th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in our Assistant City Manager, John Fitzpatrick. And John, welcome, and thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
All right, well, let's dive right in. We recently had an event that highlighted the need to revitalize roads. And it's an important thing to recognize that we have to maintain our roads, obviously, but this was a partnership with a statewide DOT organization, and they hosted an event over at Rainbow Park.
Right. We've had a good partnership with the Wisconsin DOT for a long, long time, and I know they're very interested in supporting communities, and they understand how important good roadways are to the vitality of communities. Mm-hmm. So this was an excellent, I think, opportunity to remind, not only people that are involved in the road building process, including the DOT, but also the decision makers associated with funding those initiatives, mm-hmm. elected officials, people that work in the state legislature, and community members, mm-hmm. to support the effort to expend funds on these very important projects.
Yeah, now specifically the initiative is called Revitalize Wisconsin Community Highways, and it's designed to call attention to the need for the Wisconsin DOT to stay on schedule when it comes to state highway projects that run through Oshkosh. And of course we have state highways 21, 44, 45, and 76 all pass through the city.
Right. We're very blessed to be in such a centrally located spot in the state of Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And I think we often hear that from businesses that are interested in establishing themselves here or expanding to Oshkosh. Mm-hmm. So you're right. The convergence of all those state highways here in Oshkosh are something that's extremely important for us, mm-hmm. and for the businesses and the citizens that live here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and state funding is largely responsible for the maintenance and replacement of those roads, since they are designated as state highways. That's just a point that I think should be made, is that when people hear the term state highway, mm-hmm. maybe they get in their mind the idea of this vision of a rural road, but these are actually city streets in many cases, like even North Main Street, to a degree. So we're really talking about our roads that run right through the middle of Oshkosh.
Right, and we work very frequently with the Wisconsin DOT on mm-hmm. that joint jurisdiction issue. Mm-hmm. When there's different kinds of construction and we need to establish detours, we work with them. Yeah. Unfortunately, we've had some extreme emergent events that have taken place in Oshkosh, and they've also been a good partner in regard to rerouting traffic, and in some extreme instances closing traffic too. Yeah. So it is very important, not only for economic development, for emergency services. Mm-hmm. I think I've had an opportunity to take a look at the event that's going to be placed on Oshkosh Media and the YouTube channel, and I think mm-hmm. it's a very comprehensive description of how important this issue is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a good reminder, John. Take a look at the Oshkosh Media YouTube channel, and the program is called Revitalize Wisconsin Community Highways. Check that out, and you can learn a lot more about the event that transpired and more about the need for this ongoing effort. All right, well, we wanted to do, speaking of road updates and everything, we wanted to talk about Menominee Park, and Seward Trail is one of those roads that runs through Menominee Park, and,
Right.
and the reconstruction's on schedule.
Right. I know that you've spoken about this project several times on the city manager report, and it looks like we have some video to illustrate the progress that's been made. It's really coming along nicely. It's going to be really a great improvement once it's finished. It's something that I know we've wanted to address for a long, long time and just haven't had the opportunity, but the time is now, and I think it's really going to be a welcome improvement for that part of Menominee Park, and I think the community is really going to appreciate that.
Absolutely. And I'm told that the paving is actually supposed to happen within a couple of weeks here, so it's coming up soon. But it looks as though they have the grading all set, and
Right.
it's kind of prepared for that next step.
Right, and I know people have expressed to us too that they're anxious to have it completed, although they're I think looking forward to how nice it's going to be. It's very heavily utilized,
Yes,
so it's
right.
something that once it's ready to go, I think people will be happy about that as well.
Sure, yeah. And we wanted to also note that the Menominee Park Zoo is actually connected with Seward Trail there.
Right.
And the zoo is actually currently closed at this moment, but it will reopen for winter hours beginning on Monday, October 13th. And those winter hours will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on weekdays.
Right.
So we encourage folks to, even off season, they're able to go and enjoy the zoo.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it'll be nice to be able to enjoy that with the new trail being resurfaced.
Yep, and parking area and everything there. So
Right.
looking forward to that. All right, then, John, we also currently have some surveys that are open. We just want to remind folks, we've mentioned these before on the program, but one of those is the ATV and UTV survey.
Yeah. Oshkosh's Transportation Committee and the Common Council are seeking input regarding the idea of the use of ATVs and UTVs on city streets. So I know that's something that's been popular in some rural communities, but I think an idea was brought forward to consider their use in the city of Oshkosh. So that's something that we certainly would like to hear the citizens' ideas about, whether or not they think it's a good idea or not. And that survey is designed to provide that opportunity.
Yeah, fairly straightforward. I don't think it takes a very long time to fill it out. So encourage folks to go and look at that one. That is also located on the Hot Topics section of the city's website on the front page, and then also through the city's Polco page.
Right.
As well as the Lakeshore Drive survey, and that one is relating to, we just talked about Menominee Park a little bit, the very southern end of the park across from the water filtration plant.
Right. It looks like we have some graphics that kind of illustrate the options that are available there. And, we're very fortunate to have the community located next to Lake Winnebago, and also to have our over 100-acre park, Menominee Park there. So we're very cognizant of people's desire to utilize that lakeshore to its fullest. And although we draw our water from Lake Winnebago for our public drinking water, and we need to have those facilities in close proximity to the lake, we also want to make sure that that lakeshore is still usable, and it's something that's beautiful and maintained in a manner that the public can fully enjoy. And that's really what this survey is intended to ask the public about. What options would they like to see in regard to how the realignment of Lakeshore Drive is.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to remind folks that you can access those surveys on the Hot Topics section of the city's website. or go to the Polco site, which is also linkable through the city's website, and you can find those surveys. Okay, then, John, I know there's been some discussion about some changes affecting upcoming Common Council meetings. One of those is the ordinance that, or ordinances will no longer require 2 readings.
Right.
And so that's a little bit of a change.
It is a little bit of a change. I think there are several reasons for us to consider changing this. One of the reasons would be we don't have meetings routinely in times when there's very popular holidays, like for example around the end of December.
Right.
There typically isn't a meeting scheduled there, although right now the way that it's set up, it's the second and fourth Tuesday. So then there's a process we go through to cancel that meeting, and it's laborious. And I think the idea, and I think City Manager Grill really deserves credit for this. I mean, her idea was, why don't we set the public calendar in advance, and then everybody knows exactly what is going to take place. And in conjunction with that, then there may not be as much of a need for the 2 readings that we ordinarily have as part of the council process. In addition to that, the holidays, the other thing that was talked about was a lot of citizens are gone during EAA.
Right.
If there's a very important issue that needs to be addressed, we wouldn't want the citizens to feel like, hey, I didn't have that opportunity because I was gone because of EAA.
Right. And many people will be.
Right.
Are, yeah.
And one more item that I can think of, because these 2 items are so closely linked, the calendar as well as the 2 readings, would be during elections.
Sure.
I mean, people are very busy with the elections, and during that election period time, the idea is to not maybe have a meeting that falls in that area, so as to make sure that if people are busy with elections, preparing for elections, participating in elections, they can still have an opportunity to participate and be fully aware of what's going on for items that are going to be brought before the council.
Right.
So not having a meeting during that time period, having it on a different time, I think will provide a more clear opportunity as to what's happening, and the citizens will be able to respond in a much more expedient manner, rather than having to slow that progress down by having 2 readings and then also having the existing calendar as it was. So they're a little bit intertwined, but I think that it's a good improvement.
Okay. And we will continue to update residents on this program and on social media as the calendar is set here, and reminders of what those dates are.
Right. Good.
Okay. All right. And then, John, we wanted to point out that the Oshkosh Public Museum is celebrating their Dia de los Muertos on Saturday, October 11th. And this is a big festival that they're hosting.
It is. For people that haven't had an opportunity to take this in, it's a really cool event. It's something that provides an opportunity for people to just have a glimpse of a unique facet of this culture, and there are all kinds of ways that Dia de los Muertos is set up to honor the lives of those who've passed away while still joyfully experiencing music, dance, art, storytelling. It's just a great event.
Yeah, and that the event will also include food trucks, live performances in their main tent, and also some crafts and hands-on stations for families and kids.
Right.
So it's really a great event for the whole family, and there's a lot to do.
Right, right. It's my understanding that admission to the museum and entertainment is free, and I think the Taqueria is a sponsor of that, so we certainly appreciate that.
Right.
And I believe it's going to be held from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. On the 11th.
That is correct. October 11th, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Oshkosh Public Museum. Make sure you check it out.
Right.
All right. And then also, John, we want to make note that this is Fire Prevention Week. It's October 5th through the 11th. And the fire department, this year, they're focusing on lithium-ion batteries. And they're trying to educate the public on how to buy, charge, and dispose of those batteries safely.
Right. I think, for people that may not be aware of how lithium-ion batteries can become dangerous, I think it's really an eye-opening presentation, and I encourage everybody to take a look at this because it's something that I think people need to be aware of, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Right. We have so many electronics that have those batteries in
right.
them. So, and another thing the fire department has been involved with is they've been canvassing the Sawyer Creek neighborhood, offering to check residences for working smoke detectors.
Right. I know that's something they do periodically. They try to go in a variety of neighborhoods and make sure that everything is working satisfactorily. And it's really a service that I think is welcomed by the community. It's something that's small, but can have a huge impact if it's not functional.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And people may or may not have the opportunity to check those on a consistent basis. So it's just an effort we undertake to try to make sure that we can prevent accidents from happening.
Right. Absolutely. And actually, speaking of this, we recently visited the fire department, Oshkosh Fire Department, to learn from the experts about Fire Prevention Week. I'm here with Fire Inspector Dane Krieger. And Dane, welcome, and thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, what are some of the most common fire hazards that you encounter in homes and businesses?
So one of the big ones we find is electrical hazards, and then also storage issues, blocking emergency exits, passive egress, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is the importance of fire safety information for residents in Oshkosh?
Well, from a public education standpoint, it really allows us to get out in the community, get to know our community, and then also pass on information. Every year there's new knowledge that comes out that we learn, and then we can also pass it on to our community as well to hopefully make it a safer place.
Sure, yeah. And how does your department engage with the community to promote fire safety awareness?
Well, we use social media as a tool for sure, and then we also get out to events in the public, whether it be wellness fairs for different businesses or places in the community, and touch-a-truck events.
Yeah.
And then we also do school visits to help teach the young ones.
Okay, perfect, yeah. And what steps should families take to prepare for the possibility of a fire in their home?
Biggest thing would be making sure you have working smoke detectors, making sure you check the batteries once a month.
Batteries are important.
Batteries once a month, and change them at least once a year. I prefer the change your clocks, change your smoke detector batteries mentality of twice a year. And then also you can practice exit drills. So if we were to have a fire, where would you go? Where would you meet after the fact to make sure everyone got out?
Yeah. Okay. And how often should those fire drills be conducted?
Once a month, I would say, is probably the same schedule as checking your smoke detectors. Is a good place to start.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. And what role do smoke detectors and fire extinguishers play in preventing fire-related injuries and fatalities?
So early warning is the biggest thing. Now modern houses, modern furnishings, they burn much faster. It's usually only about 5 minutes to escape a house fire before it's completely engulfed. Yeah. So you need the early detection, early warning is the biggest thing with smoke detectors.
Okay. Well, thanks for the information.
No problem. Thank you.
And we're here with Fire Chief Tim Heyman. And Tim, if you could tell us some specific fire safety concerns during certain seasons, such as winter heating or even summer outdoor activities.
Sure. Coming into fall, one of the things we run into is nuisance burning, so leaves, yard waste, things like that. Make sure that you're following City of Oshkosh outdoor burning ordinances. We do not allow yard waste. We do allow campfires with clean firewood and things like that, but no burning of leaves or anything like that. So make sure that you're properly disposing of those. Some other things is making sure the vent openings for water heaters, your furnace on the outside are clear and not blocked. Sure. So again, with leaves or as we get into deep snow, things like that, Having your furnace serviced by a qualified technician, we recommend having that done annually. There's several local technicians that will perform that for you as well. As we get into the holiday season, things like candles and other things, make sure that you're not leaving those unattended. So those are all things as we go into kind of winter and holiday season that we really look to remind people about.
Sure. Even like dried out Christmas trees, I've heard that's quite a risk too.
Yep, that's another one, keeping your tree watered. Once we get into, a little closer to Christmas, we put out a lot of social media outreach of, how to properly display decorations, keeping your Christmas tree watered, all those type of things.
Sure, sure. How does the department address these seasonal risks?
Really through public education. So a lot of it is outreach with social media. Anytime we're out in the public, we use that as a chance to interact and provide fire prevention messages as well. And we kind of try to tie them to the season. So as we're coming into Halloween here and fall with yard waste and things like that, we'll put out a lot of messages with that. We try to kind of stay relevant with the time of the year as well.
Sure. Yeah. Do you have a key message that you would like to convey to the community to remember about fire safety?
Yeah, it's one of the big things that I always bring up anytime I get an opportunity is smoke detectors. Our Inspector Dane had brought that up prior. Cannot emphasize how important smoke detectors are. 3/5 of fires that result in injury or fatality do not have a working smoke detector. So early notification, early egress are all very, very important things. So make sure you have a smoke detector, make sure it's working, make sure that you're checking it periodically. So again, those are the things we see that really change outcomes.
Okay. Any other general tips or advice?
Just one plug, we do have our detector truck handing out smoke detectors and checking smoke detectors. And anybody in any other neighborhood in the city, we kind of pick one to canvass each year. But you can call the fire department at any time. Our friendly Inspector Dane will come out, check your smoke detector for you, and if you need one, we will install it in any private residence. So I just want to make people aware that we have that program.
Perfect, perfect. All kinds of opportunities for fire safety knowledge and increasing safety in your home here in Oshkosh.
Yes, prevention is the best tool.
All right. Well, Tim, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, along with Assistant City Manager John Fitzpatrick. Let's turn our attention to some items from the upcoming Tuesday, October 14th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting. All right, and John, it looks like we start the meeting off actually at 4 p.m. with a workshop meeting.
Right. It's going to be held in 404. It's our annual discussion about the capital improvement program budget as well as the operating budget. So for people that may not know, the capital improvement projects really are large ticket items. Could be projects associated with roadways as well as, for example, buildings. So that's a separate budget that we have that speaks to the projects that are planned for in those areas. And then the operating budgets are really the budgets that each department has to be able to function, to be able to do their duties in regard to whatever discipline they happen to be in. So there'll be dialogue with the elected officials, the city manager, the department heads, division heads that might be in charge of an individual area. So it's a very important process that we undertake every year.
Yeah. And I understand that if more time is needed, so this particular meeting is on Tuesday the 14th at 4 o'clock p.m. in advance of the regular council meeting. But if more time is needed by the council to discuss this, it looks like that will be held on Wednesday, October 15th.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, it really depends on what sort of questions might be brought forward, and if additional information needs to be shared not only there or after the fact. So we'll just see how the meeting goes.
Okay, and we'll keep the residents informed via social media and Oshkosh media if that meeting is taking place and the fact that it'll be televised and such.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, a little further on in the agenda here we have some pending ordinances, and it looks like we are having a controlled intersection considered over by Carl Traeger School.
Right. I know this is a topic that has been discussed numerous times over the years. Carl Traeger School, that area when it was first established was really on the outskirts of the city. But there's been some expansion of residential areas out there. The Y is out there now. There's developments beyond Carl Traeger. And because there's additional traffic out there, and because I think there could be potentially plans to expand Carl Traeger, the idea was this might be the appropriate time to establish more traffic control to make sure that it's safe, not only for the public but also for the children that attend Carl Traeger schools.
Sure. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for safety reasons. Another change, we're looking at a new ordinance, approval of a speed limit change over on Witzel Avenue, and this is just west of Sawyer Creek.
Right, yes. And the change that's being proposed is the idea of altering the speed limit from 35 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour west of Westbrook Drive and westerly to the city limits. So that's the idea there. And just so people may or may not know, our transportation department is always monitoring intersections, areas. They do traffic counts. They do all kinds of different things to monitor the volume of traffic. We were talking a little bit about Carl Traeger just previously. But also they work closely in conjunction with our PD, to make note of different accidents that might have occurred or any kind of enforcement activity that may need to be ramped up because of activity that is ongoing. So that's part of this process as well, and we'll see what the outcome is.
Sure, yeah. All right, and then under our new resolutions, we have adding a 24-hour timed permit parking option available through the Passport parking app on the city's downtown parking lots.
Right, and I think we've talked quite a bit about the new Passport app that's available to the citizens.
Right.
And this is just a new feature that will allow people to select the 24-hour parking permit option that wasn't available prior to this being considered. So I think it's an additional option that I think might be appealing to certain individuals that are already using the Passport app.
Right, right. And there's a lot of information available about Passport parking on the city's website, and there's a link through Hot Topics. And then also on the Oshkosh Police Department website, there's a lot of information about purchasing parking permits and all the details. So you can check that out too. All right, and then we also wanted to make note that Mayor Mugrauer plans to speak about board, committee, and commission vacancies.
We always appreciate Mayor Mugrauer's efforts to try to generate interest in boards and commissions and committees. The city functions best when we have active citizen participation.
Yes.
I know that's something that we encourage here with Oshkosh Media all the time, and we know everybody's busy, but we certainly would appreciate if you could spare some of your time to participate on these boards and commissions. It looks like we have a graphic that indicates there's Long-Range Finance, Landmarks Commission, Plan Commission, and Transportation Committee are in need of some members. So if you can at all find time in your busy weeks, we certainly would appreciate you sharing some of that with the city.
Absolutely. All right, well, John, the time has gone fast today, but we really appreciate your insights, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
All right, and thank you for joining us today, too. We appreciate your time. Again, that Common Council meeting is at 6 p.m. this Tuesday, October 14th at City Hall at 215 Church Avenue. You can watch that live on GovTV, which is Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org, or listen on the radio, Oshkosh FM 101.9. So please join us again in 2 weeks for another City Managers Report. Thanks for watching. you.